Hey everybody! So the last couple of days I have been working on the trim work here in the library, and I got the built-in bookcase mostly done, as you can see, and I had to piece together some parts of it to make sure that I had the right height, because I am reusing leftover trim that I removed from other places in the house during my remodeling. And you can see the seam up on this one where I had to piece two pieces together to get the height. The nice thing is, by reusing this, that all the angles and the coping is all already there. So once I get the lengths cut right, things go together pretty quickly. The fun part is getting everything to fit. This side, I ran out. I think I have 4 different profiles of this piece here, and trying to find enough pieces to continue down. I am still on the hunt to finish this side. But as you can see, I have already had to piece together. So there's a seam there. And then there's a seam there. And up top here, there is one right there. It's really hard to see from this distance, but you can see the color change there. There is a seam there as well. So I've been piecing stuff together. This particular profile on this piece here is from upstairs. And I decided to go with that profile just around the bookcase, because the profile in this room is a little bit different. This board is pretty universal throughout the house. That's the first layer. The second layer of this particular profile is this board here. Then there's a half round that's put over the top of that. And then there's another profile piece on the outside of that, and that makes it very wide. And so I decided that my bookcase didn't need to be quite that fancy, but I also wanted it to still maintain the integrity of the house and keep the style that is already existing in the home. Today I am tackling the new doorway. I started it yesterday, and it's been quite a project. And I am going with the bigger profile. So you can see the different layers here. So we've got this first layer, this board here. Then my second layer is this one, and it goes all the way to the wall. And then the half round that goes on top of that. Because I didn't have enough space to add that edge, which is kind of nice. The half round actually butts right up next to the wall, so that still finishes it off really nicely. And like I said, it's kind of nice to have reusable molding, because back in 1873, when this was all installed, everything was cut by hand, everything is custom, and the coping that they did on this piece to make it fit is really beautifully done, and it's nice and snug, and it fits perfectly when you put it back on. So when I took stuff apart, I was very careful to not crack things and break boards so that I could reuse them. So this is that second layer, and you can see kind of the seam here left over that the half round will go on. And you can see this board back here. So this side's a little more exciting, because when I put the doorway into this wall, I had to bump it out. This actually currently leads right into my basement. So it's open right onto the stairs. There's patches. And goes down. The plan is to move the stairs about 4 feet that way, so that I can then open this whole space up. The doorway that's right there is only temporary. It's just to keep the basement separate from the rest of the house. And that will then be moved to face this direction. So then it'll be pushed back about 4 feet from where it currently is. And then the stairs will also be pushed back. So that little door down there, you can see that doorway, that'll be eliminated because I won't be able to have access to that. But this whole area right here will be opened up. And this will just become a nice little hallway then. So we'll put a floor in, obviously, across here. That space opens up into the dining room and the kitchen. So that'll open that all up and make it a little more of an open concept idea. So I just wanted to share with you how this was all going together. Move my ladder here, and I can show you a little bit better what's going on up top here. You can kind of see the bump out right here. And so, it's so hard to see in this video. There you go. So I had to bump the wall out to get my full 4-inch depth to put the door frame in. Well, I wasn't exactly sure what kind of trim I was going to put on here. So I made it what I thought was going to be the right width. And it turns out it's not. So I'm having to add, in this little space back in here, I have to add my extra depth. And that's what this board is, so that I have something to attach the rest of the trim onto. So this first layer, well, I guess it's the second layer technically, has another piece that attaches to it, just like that. And that gives me then this profile on the outside edge. Then the half round goes on top of that, and you can kind of see that outline where that will be. So I needed something to fill the space then, because this board obviously doesn't go all the way back to the wall. So I had to fill it with another piece. And once that's all painted and set in place, it'll look like one solid board. But as you can see, there was about 1.5 inch gap. So I had to fill that in and bring that all together. So I just wanted to update everybody, kind of give you a little tutorial, I guess. Pictures really don't do it justice. It's so hard to explain in a picture alone how things are going together. But I am really excited how this space is looking, and I can't wait to actually use this space as it is intended. So stay tuned.